your application that you feel like it's not going to be mentioned in your test score, or it's not going to be like brought up in your teacher's rec or your other essay, then you can use that box to like put more information in. Although for that one, it doesn't have to be like it doesn't have to be like an essay format. You can literally just like write a sentence or two discussing about what you like want them to know. Like, I think for me, for my additional circumstances, I just brought up the fact that I was a green card holder at the time of at the time that I applied to college. So it could be super formal, but if you want, it could also serve like a good, like another chance to like write and tell them more about yourself. Okay, so to me, the essays are like one of the most important part of the application because you're 100% in control. This is not based on other factors outside of your control, like testing condition or whether or not your teachers like you or whether or not your interviewer likes you. Like your essay is 100% for you to mold and write and guide it however you want. And when you think about it, the essays are really help to humanize your application because so far, like from the Common App, all admission committees know about you. It's just like your test score, where you go to school, how many siblings you have. It's all very like stats or like numbers. Nothing that says about you or who you are, what your story is. And so use the essay as like a chance to woo the admission committee, like tell like have them be wow, so that this is like all you, like show them like why you are perfect for the school, why you deserve this a spot at the school or a spot with the scholarships. And so I know like me just like talking about how important essay is probably stressing you out, but like don't be. The essays, they are your voice, so don't be afraid to use them. And even and like yeah, it is very stressful, but think of it as like a great way to showcase your personality to admission officers too. Okay, so let's go over something like all the checkpoints of an effective essay. It has to have an intriguing hook, a distinctive combination of personality traits. So think of this second bullet points more of a what what about you that you want admission committees to know? Is it only that you're a hardworking person, or is that you are like a debate champion who have a secret love for piano? So when I say show distinctive combination of personality traits, you want to showcase like multi dimensions of your personality, of who you are to admissions committee through your essay. Also, when we say showcase, like when we say show, we really mean it. Don't just say that you're a hardworking person and stop it at that. Like give out example, use anecdotes. I edit a lot of essays. Like last year when I was applying, I edited my friend's essay, or like, and this year I'm mentoring students, so I also edit their essays. And I'm gonna tell you, anecdotes are like the just like the most effective way to tell a story in an essay. So if you have like a specific example through anecdotes, then use them because oh my gosh, it's so helpful. Also, show vulnerabilities. I know this is a little bit tricky because we all want to like present our best self to the admission officer, and so vulnerability, like giving them like an inside look to some of our negativity probably sounds very scary. But when you think about it, vulnerabilities makes us human, and you want the essay to humanize your application, so that the admission officers who read your essay like you. So don't be afraid to show vulnerability. That said, there is a fine line between showing vulnerability but making you look good and showing vulnerabilities that kind of like a big turn off for the school. And so whenever you show your vulnerability or you tackle like heavy topics, make sure that you always like put a positive spin into it, or or like how that negativity in your life influence you to make your life better, or how that like makes you strive better for the future. Also, expand your anecdote with reflection and insights. So these two bullet points, the second and third to last, they're mostly for your conclusion, but at the end of your essay, they kind of want to like know what lessons you have from your experience. So that is what the reflection and insights are, and also like connect who you are right now with your hopes and dreams for the future. That can be like one or two sentences on like how how your life experience inform your dream, like why maybe that's why you want to study biomedical engineering at the college, or why you want to become a lawyer in the future. So yeah. Also, authenticity. You want your essay to be genuine and like real, and like it shows who you are. Like I know this is a cliche, but like people always say that like a good college essay is something that if you drop it in the hallway and any random person picked it up, they could tell immediately that it's you. So make sure your essay is authentic in that way, that like when admission officers read your essay, they can definitely like the essay complete your application, all like the like bits and pieces from your interview, from your teacher's rec, from your extracurricular activity or your test score, your essay will complete it. So yeah. This webinar is specifically about the Common App. So we're gonna like, here are the prompt for the Common App this year. You have 7 options. Not gonna read them all. You can find these online, but just to show you, and if you notice, like these prompts are pretty open-ended. And so I would say that when you start writing, do not be caught up with like the different prompt options. Like don't feel like, oh, I have to pick prompt number one and then I start brainstorming topics later. Like don't do that, because in the end the personal statement is your story. It's still about you. And so and you wouldn't want to feel like you have to be in a mold that fits an outside like an outside prompt. So my advice is just like brainstorm, reflect on your life, and pick a topic, and then start writing it. And then when you're done, chances are it will fit at least one, if not more, Common App prompts, because the prompts themselves are very open ended. And like worst case scenario, if it doesn't fit any prompts and you're freaking out, remember there is option 7. So and here's option 7: share an essay on any topic of your choice. So like the college know to give you an out if the scenario ever happens that your essay doesn't fit any of the previous 6 prompts. Okay, let's talk about the step of writing personal statements. Step 1: brainstorm. Do inventory. Make a list of attributes you would like to highlight, and this could be either like your values or a set of your identities. Maybe like your identity of like a team captain and also a sister. So all these multifaceted about you. Or you can talk about your dreams or your goals. And then once you have like make a list of all the things that you want to highlight in your essay, reflect, find anecdotes or experiences that connected to them, and ask yourself, how did this impact you? What did you learn from these experiences? How did these experiences change how you view the world, or your goal, or your dreams? And then before you start, ask yourself, is the story that you're planning to share uniquely you, or does it make you likable? Does it make you relatable? Yeah, because like a lot of time, there's like millions of high school seniors applying to college every year. So it's super easy to feel like there's bound to be some similarities in like the story that you guys choose to tell. But the experience or like the lessons that you learn from these stories should be uniquely you. And so like in when brainstorming, do keep note of that, to say something that's super special about you that you really want to tell. And also like that super special thing also should be like a positive something, or like something that makes you relatable, not something that will make people like less inclined to accept you. Okay. And after you brainstorm, it comes to structuring the essay. Um, so someone asked me if they should write a traditional 5 paragraph essay for their personal statement. I'll say it's up to you. Like to me personally, I like treating my college essay as like a story so that I can play with the structure a little bit. And I feel like that makes things a little bit easier too. It makes things more interesting for the admission officer who will read your essay. So to each your own. If you feel more comfortable writing a traditional 5 paragraph essay, that's good. But if not, allow your creativity to, be outside of box. Play with the structure. Arrange it however you would like. Imagine it as like a book or like a story that you read from a book. Are they like in paragraph, or they have or the paragraph like separated and everywhere? The two most common structures that I've seen in college essays are either narrative or montage. So, narrative is usually there's gonna be one single experience or one single story, and then um, the narrator will explain it further on how that connects to their experience, or how that like changes how they view the world, or how that informs their viewpoint. Um, so yeah, an example of this is think about like you talk about you have the setting as a basketball tournament, and as you tell the story throughout your basketball tournament, how it like impacts various how it connects to like the main themes that you want to talk about. So that's an example of narrative. A montage is more of like it highlights many quality and many experiences. So think of like the infamous sandwich essay, where like each ingredient represents a different part of you. You see, that's an example of montage because it highlights many different things, and like there are probably many different like anecdote or story within for like each ingredient. So yeah, one thing is that once you have like decided on a structure, you do want to make sure if the structure if the structure is working. So make a rough outline and to see like the way you plan it out using the narrative or the montage structure, or like something completely different of your own, if that makes sense. Also note that like an outline should not be paragraph based, but should be like point based. And when I say point based, it's like plot point. So my Common App essay, I talked about how so it's kind of like a frame story. The beginning was about me deciding whether or not I should promote a protest in like my city, and then that leads to the story in elementary school, how I didn't really stand up for like a friend when she was bullied because I was very scared. And that leads to the next story and the next anecdote about how I witnessed protests in Vietnam, where I'm from. And like with what happened in my elementary school, I was also very scared to do anything. That leads to point number 4. It talks about me promising to do better in the future, and like how I'm never going to allow myself to compromise my values just because of fear. And then it leads to the very end where like we go back to the beginning of the story, and I decided that yes, I am going to promote the protest in the city because of like that's the right thing to do, and I shouldn't like not do it because I'm afraid that it will reflect badly on me from the school. So yeah, that's like my example of how you can do like an outline. It can be definitely more it can definitely be more detailed or less detailed if you like, but that's just what I use when I write my college essay. Okay, so what if you can't not find a structure that works for your idea? That's totally fine. Ideas are good sometimes, but it's just not a good place, or like it just wasn't a good time for them to be developed. And if if that happens to you, you can either try to approach it in a different structure or find a new topic. That's why I said when you did like the inventory list out many attributes and then find like many experiences or anecdotes, because if one doesn't work, you can just like move on. And like I said, do not feel fixated on a single, like do not feel fixated on a single topic, because college college essays should be like super flexible, like especially before you start writing, or even after you start writing but it doesn't work out. It's totally fine, just like move on. Do not keep trying to like spend more time trying to make it work, because chances are it won't, and you just ended up like wasting time that you could have used working on like a new topic and getting the essay done earlier. Okay. Step number 3, simple. Just write. You have a structure, you have your outline, start writing your essay. I have some tips for this. If you ever like feel writer's block, or if you ever like lose your train of thought, refer to the outline. But like refer to the outline, or like even if you like once you already start writing, and if you feel like the outline could be a little bit better, you can just change it. Like I said, it's like your process. It's how you deal with it. So don't feel like you're messing up by changing the outline. That's totally okay. Don't worry about word count when writing. I know the Common App have like a 650 word limit, but do not worry about that when you're writing, because you can always edit later on. Just write as much as you can, and then like uh, afterward when you like edit it, you can either like change some of the word uses to reduce the word count, or you can just like leave, or like you can just edit out like the unnecessary or redundant paragraphs of the essay. It's okay to use contractions. I know in school we're always told that in essay we shouldn't use contractions, but trust me, you would need it to shorten the word counts. And yeah, and when you write, just like keep in mind what the effectiveness of the essay while writing. So like make sure to show your vulnerabilities, make sure to show authenticity. If you like don't try to use like super fancy words if that's not what you sound like in normal day like speech, because it will feel very weird, and like admission officer would definitely pick up on that. uh 4, edit. So you definitely do want to have people edit your essays, but you don't want to have too many people to do the editing. So oof, sorry. Yeah, so I say the good number is 3 to 4 people, at least one adult and at least one peer. The adult, it could be either your teacher or your parent. They could like in charge of like the grammar part, or like the more, I don't know. I mean, like, it's good to have a perspective of an adult who's like very far removed from the college process to read over your essay. That said, you do want to have like a peer to edit your essay, because sometimes teachers or your parents, it's been literally like so many years since they applied to college, and their perspective regarding the college essay probably have shifted. So to have your peer like a good, I don't know, it will be like a good influence, or like a good mindset that your peer will be in, since they're also like handling college process. So they'll make sure that your essay is good. Also, when you ask people to edit your essay, ask them to focus on theme and not just grammar, because like you can handle the grammar part on your own, but like the theme itself is something that you want you want other people to like see whether or not they will get the theme. Yeah, and not just like whether or not you make a grammar mistakes. Self-editing is good. Is a pretty good way to catch a grammar mistakes. But that said, wait 3 days until you start, because your brain was still gonna be very familiar with the essay. So like, and it will be harder to make correction if you start like self-editing immediately. Wait 3 days, and also if you can change the font so that it will look different and just easier to make mistakes. It to catch mistakes that way. Revise. Revise. Take. You have people editing your paper. Now take the suggestion and revise. That says only revise if it feels right to you. Editors probably have your best interest in mind, but they are not you. Only you know what's best for your essay. So if your editor think that you should move the the second to last point to like the beginning, but you're not okay with it, you feel like that's gonna take away from the structure or that's gonna take away from the theme, uh, then don't do it. Just do trust your instinct. Yeah. Okay. Uh wait. I we can like go through like supplemental essay a little bit since I'm assuming most of you senior and junior are going to apply to school that will require supplemental essays. So this will be super quick. But yeah, the Y school essay usually shorter than your Common App essay. And I underline usually because I believe Cornell essay is either almost as long as the Common App or even longer. So yeah, but like usually they're very short essay. The Y school essay, your chance to show the school that you are interested in them. So what you should do is make a list of specific quality or traditions. And actually tradition is honestly like the best thing that you should focus on for the Y school essay. So yeah, highlight all the things that look interested to you from the school. And then ask yourself, why do they seem interesting? Do they align with your future career or your value as all? And I know like for the Y school essay, there's a lot of like there's like this generic template where like you say, oh, I want to become a insert like a biomedical doctor, and I know that this school have a very good biomedical engineering program because they have this professor who teaches this class, and that's why I want to take the class, or I want to go to this school. I would say don't do that. It's super generic, and honestly admission officers like once they've read so many of them, they would know that you actually didn't do much research or you didn't actually like are interested in this school because you couldn't be bothered to like find actual things that about the school that are interested, not just like classes or professors. The extracurricular or academic essay focus on one activity only, and then you should like explain why you are interested in that activity or interest. This is like a perfect place for a person to start. Also, you can mention like what you are doing right now in high school to pursue that extracurricular or that academic interest. What are you are planning on doing in the future? And also, if you have room, maybe like, oh, why is this specific college good for that activity or interest? Yeah, you also have the community essay. So here's a sample prompt from Brown, like for their community essay. Tell us about a place or community you call home. How has it shaped your perspective? So yeah, talk about your community. Like mention, is it traditional or unconventional? In what ways is it good? In what ways should it be improved? And mention anecdote or like specific example when you talk about it. Also, you want to talk about your role in your community. Like, are you the mediator? Are you more like the passive observer? Or are you actively engaged in your community? How you view life or how you develop your values or your dreams. Like I know like the essay is asking about talking about your community, but use the opportunity to tell them more about yourself. Maybe you can like further enhance what you already mentioned in your common app essay, or you can offer like new things that admission officers probably don't know about you from like teachers rec or your essay. Okay. The TV, book, or music essay, there's usually very short. And honestly, don't even stress about this essay because this is probably just the school way to get to know you more. So like be super authentic and like I mean it. If you if your favorite book is a manga, say that. Don't say that your favorite book is this classic book to appear to be smarter. They don't want that. And the way to approach this is that you can either provide a list or you can just pick one book and provide like commentary about it. So I know Columbia University have like essay supplements that are kind of like this, and they specifically ask you to provide just a list of books or like TV shows that you really like or movies that you really like. However, um, well, I was kind of afraid when I did that. So what I did is like I did provide a list, but then I also put like a little bit of commentary of like maybe my favorite book of the year is Percy Jackson, and then like my favorite reread of the year is Two Other Boys I Loved Before. And so like, quick note, if you want you can do that, or if not, like I have friends who also got into Columbia, and they also like then they literally just like write down 5 6 books that like they like and on the answer box, and they still got in. So yeah, the format for those doesn't really matter. It's a fun essay, so go wild. And like I really mean it when I say be authentic, because they want like average or like everyday high schooler to apply to their school. So not just like geniuses who only watch documentary or read super classic Greek only books. So yeah, show who you are, and yeah, have fun with it. Okay, that is for this presentation. I'm gonna stop screen sharing and go on to the Q&A. If you guys have any questions you want to ask me. Oh, wait, were you guys able to hear me?
Yeah. The volume was like a little bit low, but I was able to hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm outside right now. So maybe that's why. Uh okay. I have a okay. I think you guys are starting putting question in the chat, so I'm gonna read them. So is it better to pick a prompt beside prompt 7? I mean, you definitely can, but like I said, if you're like right now trying to write essay, and don't feel pressured that you have to, that once you pick prompt 1 you can only talk about prompt 1, or like once you pick prompt like 3 you can only like guide your essay to make it fit prompt 3, because that's just make things more difficult. Like like a better way to do it is just like start writing and then later on see what prompt it fit into. Okay. um okay. Wow, it's kind of difficult to scroll up. Okay. Should you send essay to multiple people at once, or should you take an advice from one person before sending it to another? Um, Good question. What I did is that since I procrastinate my essay until like literally like a few days before, I just send mine to multiple people, and once I got it back, I just like read through all the edit and like suggestions that they made, and then I change my essay accordingly. If you have time, maybe like do multiple rounds of editing. So like maybe send it to 2 people first, and then once you have it back, change it and then send it to more people. But it's really up to you. Yeah. Okay. Uh, how would you recommend organizing your essay for each school? Mm, okay. So I would say right now, if you have a list already, maybe like have it, especially for supplements, just like have all the prompts available for the school, paste it on one Google Docs, and then organize them into like what prompts look similar to each other, so that when you started writing, you can like once you start writing essay for that school, it would just be there available. And when you like once you're done with like school A, and then you see that school B has a similar prompt, you can just like quickly like tweak it a little bit so that it will also fit for school B. And so that way like you save time, you don't have to like write so many like similar essays, and it's just like a very good time saving technique, especially if you procrastinate and like wait until like the very last day to start writing. Okay. Um, okay. Wow, this is I can't see. Three. So I have a question about if you want to go into medicine but you want to major in history, how can I show this through your essay? Um, I'm I mean it's totally fine. You can like one way you can talk about is like your love for his. You can mention your love for history in your essay, but then like talk about how despite your love for history, like the medical field draw on you or like pull you in somehow and you want to and how you want to like use your knowledge or skills learned being a history major and so that you can like become a better doctor because humanities very necessary skill for doctors. So yeah, maybe that's like one way you can do it. Or like you don't even have to write your essay about like what you want to major in. Like because I apply as like a science major, but then all of my essay are super humanity based. So like don't feel pressed that you need to mention your future major or your future career path in your essay. It can just like the essay is about like your story so far. So if that doesn't have anything to do with your like major or like if you feel like your future career path or your major in college doesn't like influence it that much, then don't worry about it. Okay. What makes a good hook? Um. Uh. Wow, that's a very good question. It really is depends. I would say a good hook of like my go-to. It's always a like a quote, and it doesn't have to be like a fancy quote. My I think for my Common App essay, my quote was like my inner voice when I was debating whether or not to promote the protest, and it was like, and it can be a little bit shocking. So mine was don't do it, or they're going to expel you, or worse, take your scholarships away. And so yeah, that sort of things is so yeah, like your hook, you want it to be shocking. Well, like not shocking. Like if it works, you want it to be shocking. But like a quote, my go-to, or you can like describe just like an event that it might feel like seem super out of the blue, but then like as you write it more, the hook makes sense to the reader, and yeah, and they'll be like, huh, that's very smart. Okay. My Common App essay theme was about me like not letting fear define who I am and letting fear compromise my values anymore. It's very social justice heavy. Yeah. Um, how can we write and be authentic but also sound sophisticated? Okay, sophistication is definitely overrated. Um, I would say I would honestly I would focus on more being authentic and genuine in your essay and like your story, like who you are and like the lessons that you learned or like how you view the world. It should be sophisticated enough. Like you don't need to add extra word or like style your essay in a special way to make it sophisticated. So yeah, like right now focus on making it genuine and like focusing on like showcasing all your vulnerability or your hopes and dreams. If it and I'm sure it's gonna be sophisticated, but even if it doesn't, it shouldn't be that manner because sophistication in college essay is really overrated. Mm, okay. Um, so I have a question about like how to create like I'm assuming a hook in the beginning and also how to end the essay. My favorite technique is to like bookend it. So like my essay, I started with I started it with wondering whether or not I should promote protests in my city, and I ended it with the resolution of me actually doing it. Another one of my supplement I started it with like once upon a time, and then I ended with, and the final sentence also like once upon a time, but like it would be more, but like although like the beginning was more of like bringing up the conflict, in the end the once upon a time makes it like resolving the conflict. So yeah, bookend is honestly such a good way. However, if bookending doesn't work with you, like your conclusion, it could just be something that's like, it could be like once again a quote, or it could be something that you've learned throughout your essay, and it's just like that one final sentence sum up how you feel, or like what uh what in the future that you want to happen. Yeah, sorry, not sure if that's super helpful, but if you want, you can just DM me on Instagram, and like we can talk more about it, because sometimes like I convey words through text better than through like actual speaking words. Okay. I have another question about recommend starting your essay. Do you mean like hook or like brainstorming? Yeah. Okay. Um. Okay. I have another question about talk about like the first common app prompt, whether or not to write an anecdote or your overall, or whether anecdote or your overall experience. It's really up to you how you want to do it. It also like specific on like your specific story, or like your journey. So sorry, I can't really answer that. It's really up to you how you do it. Should you be incorporating your interest in the major in your essays? Yeah, I kind of answered it already. It's up to you. Some people do it, some people don't. Uh, if it's a like a big part of what you want to showcase to the college, then do it. But if it's literally have, or if like it really have like no connection whatsoever, then like focusing on different part that you want them to know about you. Also, majors, or like what you may want to major in college, I don't think it really matter that much to the college, because like a lot of like the top 20 university students, like they don't have to declare their major into the sophomore year. So honestly, it doesn't matter what you put on your application to be your major. They know, and they honestly expect that you will change your mind sometime within the first 2 years. So yeah, do what you want with that information. Okay. I think I have a question about how to attach the essay into the supplement portal. There's a way for you to like you can either download the Google Doc and then like attach it on the portal. There should be like a button for that. Um, so I don't have a major right now for Harvard. I applied as a science major, but then literally during my interview, I told my interviewer that I changed my mind and I want to become a lawyer now. But now like I'm really all over the place, and Harvard students technically we're all undeclared right now, and you declare your major the fall of your sophomore year. So yeah, but I think I still want to become a lawyer, but I might do something like sociology or women's gender and sexuality study. I can like put my email in the chat later on if you guys want to contact me, although DM on Instagram is much better. How would you recommend tackling supplemental essay that have really restrictive word limits, such as 100 words? Get straight to the point. Honestly, if there's only 100 words, you don't want to like spend time working on like a good intro or like a good ending. Go straight to the point. What are they asking? Answer it, and yeah, honest, and like if you have more time, you can make sure that the ending is good. But if not, just like focusing on answering the questions. Uh, how are you supposed to write authentically when you have no idea who you are? That's fine too. I mean, admitting that you are still exploring who you are and to design who you are as a person, that is authenticity in a way. Good luck if you want to talk more about it because I also suffer through like a minor identity crisis senior year. So if you want to talk about it, we can like definitely reach out. Okay. Getting over writer's block. Okay. If you if it's like 1 or 2 days and you still cannot like I don't know think about essays to write or you just cannot keep writing, I say take a break. Take a break. Go for a walk or focusing on different aspect of your college essay or watch a TV show like maybe 1 2 episodes and then like take a deep sleep the next day start all over again because chances are maybe your brain which is like super tired at that moment and that they just aren't able to like keep working so like if you give yourself a break things will probably will get better and like you can like having like ideas or you can like overcoming your writer's block. uh Gosh, I applied to 37 schools so I'm not gonna list them all out in this webinar. It's probably gonna take up all the time we have left. Okay. Okay. If you want, I can share with you the slides. Yeah, I share the slide with them with the organization, so maybe they can like send it out after the webinar. Uh, okay, I have a question about how do I space out how many supplemental essay to do? Do you do them all in one day or um? So I think over winter break, that's when I did the majority of my supplemental essay. What I did is that I picked 1 or 2 school to focus on one day. And like if I ever get stuck on one school, I just switch to another school. But then like I try to make sure that I get them done within 1 or 2 days, and then I start on the next bulk of schools. But that's because I apply to a lot of school. Maybe something you can do is like space them out every 5 days. Like once you get like one essay done, and then like you can move on. But like if it's like a different prompts, then do that. If it's like similar prompts, and make sure you just like change the essay a little bit so that it fit both school. Or like you can submit one school, then use the same essay, tweak it so that it fit the other school also. So I did the QuestBridge match. I wasn't matched, but I got into MIT early action. But then I found out like I want to become a lawyer, so it doesn't make sense to go to MIT. So I applied to a regular decision to like a lot of QuestBridge school, but also like Harvard and Barnard. Yeah. When did you really start your college writing process? Did you start relatively early or no? How did you balance schoolwork and college app? So I think my Common App essay, I finished it in like August or September. And then since I did the match, I have like 2 weeks to start working on on all the supplements. So so yeah, like so for supplement is more a little bit more pressed for time for me. Um, and how did I balance schoolwork and college app? Very good question. I don't think I did. For me, like my schoolwork was pretty much neglected when I was like focusing on supplements for the match. Like for regular decision, it was over winter break, so it's okay. But oh, I have a tip for you guys. A lot of schools they have like either mental health day or like a day for seniors to like go on college visit. If you want to like take a if you want to take like a day off school so that you can work on your college app, utilize those opportunities, but sometimes it feels a little bit too much if you have to like care about like test and quiz it or like homework for school and also college app. So like treat yourself like just one day off and you can focusing on college app stuff and then you can handle schoolwork later on. I did not apply to any UC. Their financial aid for out-of-state students are just terrible and I'm broke. So yeah, honestly, if you're not from California, I don't think the UC is worth it. Okay, so I think my only major award is Questbridge. I'm a pretty average student. Yeah. Okay. I think the webinar ends at 5:25. I will put my email address in the box so that if you want, you guys can reach out to me. But like I said, oh sorry, but like I said, in like DM me on Instagram is much better. Thank you so much for attending, everyone. I hope it was helpful, and good luck for your on your college application. Bye.